His name was Tyre Nichols, a young man of 29 years old, arrested on January 7, 2023 for traffic violation. Beaten relentlessly by police officers, he died 3 days later at the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, this one was the umpteenth incident of police violence in the United States. And today we have an opportunity to come once more and talk about a crucial topic dealing on racial, ethnic discrimination and police violence. So we are in a world of, actually this is the case we are presenting right now, this young man that was killed on that very day. To present the show, I am along with two gentlemen. We are dealing in a world with human rights, with civil rights and universal rights. But unfortunately, there's still some injustice,
Yes.
and sometimes it leads to racial discrimination or even police violence. But I would like, before coming back to you, first of all, I would like to define what is discrimination. And simply, discrimination is the fact of distinguishing one thing from another with precision. You just say that I want this, but not this. I want this thing, but not that one. And that leads us to what is actually racial discrimination or ethnic discrimination. I will let you, Mr. Samson, to give me the definition on that.
Okay. So, before, discrimination is the unjust treatment of someone. Like you treat someone unequally to the other one. So, racial discrimination is just the fact of discriminating people based on their race. So, let me amaze you. Do you know that discrimination's origin can be colonization?
Really?
Really? Are
Come
you
on.
sure?
Of course.
Come on.
So come on.
Yeah, I know
explain.
majority of people don't even think about the fact that, you know, the origin of discrimination can be colonization.
Right.
So what do I mean by colonization?
Colonization.
Everyone know what colonization
Yeah,
is.
we know.
So
Come on.
let's take the example of we black people, we African people,
Yeah.
right? So we've been colonized by the white people, right? So in the instances whereby we are being colonized, so everything that the white people are telling us, we are following their rules and regulations, right?
Commandments.
And everything that they are going to say, okay, do this, we are just going to follow them, right?
Yeah.
So they are not going to, those white people, they are not going to tell their brother or their friend, they are not going to to be speaking them as the way they are speaking to
it means that they are not going to treat them as they're treating others,
they are
right?
treating the black people,
right?
Which were the African people,
Yes, actually,
right? So this is the origin of discrimination when it comes to the origin related to colonization.
So that means simply like is a fact of treating others, favor them,
they are
in a way,
themselves, but they are not favoring black people.
Right?
I may understand the point you bringing out, talking about colonization, and that's it seems like we are just living the consequences of the history. Yet knowing that most of the African countries were colonized by Europeans and American Europeans, and it happens that when it shows a certain kind of a superiority.
Oppressed.
We were oppressed according to the history, and that led to what we can notice in some countries like racial discrimination.
Discrimination is actually.
Let's point on what is actually racial discrimination. It's just the fact of racial discrimination is the fact of treating someone really inequally according to his race,
or simply when a person's dignity is violated.
For example, we have this picture on the screen. This is, I think, in America, in the U.S., that's where the
skin color
being discriminated based on their skin color.
But actually, we have to make a little difference between racial discrimination and racism, because most of the time it happened to be racism, not racial discrimination. Discrimination is just the fact of treating someone inequality to another, not a group. Most of the time when it comes to racism, it's a group of people, an entire race. But racial discrimination can only be a particular person. For example, you are maybe living in the U.S., okay, and instead of you want to apply, you're applying for a job, and maybe when the enroller, the one who should enroll you, you just come for the interview, and when you come into the door, he sees that this one is coming from Africa, so and then he immediately has an answer for you. Okay, so even though you're going to take your time to be debating on what is
not important or not necessary,
to defend your
viewpoint.
Yeah, your viewpoint. He won't let you do that because he has already
he has already in his mind.
But that may happen, especially to a peculiar person, not always to all the black people. That may only be to, for example, to the Chinese. We don't agree. We don't want to receive CV coming from
and that
Chinese
reminds me of the history that we have here in Togo. Because talking about that thing, the people living in the north and people living in the south. For example, if south people living in the south, go in the north and marry and want to marry a woman, right? And the south people, their mother can ask, the person that you want to marry, where is he from? Where is she or he? Yeah, from. So you'll be like, the person is from the north. They say, no.
Now, I'm not sure. I won't allow that in my family because the person they suppose a little bit the difference between all those people already.
Perception. They have that stereotypical perception of people living in the north.
In north,
that those people are whatever. Reason why they don't want their children to indulge themselves in or cope with those people living in the north.
I feel that's what we call especially marriage discrimination, because there are many types of discrimination, and it's a little bit hard to cover them all, but we're going to be focused mainly on racial discrimination. So, and as I was saying, still talking on racial discrimination, I was thinking on a history, that something that happened recently in Côte d'Ivoire.
I
don't know if you know. So there is a restaurant in Côte d'Ivoire. There's the owner, I think, is a white man. And what happens that is black people are not allowed to
enter that restaurant. Restaurant. Yeah, of course.
Every coast.
Every coast. We are in a black country. We are in Africa.
Of course.
But there is
rules or instruction given.
And that's actually that can lead us to the consequences. What are the consequences for that racial discrimination? It makes a kind of it breaks inclusion. Actually, we are depriving some people from opportunities. Maybe, for example, you want to go to the restaurant with your mate in that particular place, in that particular restaurant. And when you are going there, when you're walking there, you find out that it's not allowed to black people.
Even though those people working there, they are black.
Of course. They are not allowed it. Anyhow, no matter you be black, as long as you are
a black
that was actually a famous situation on the social network. People rose against it. How come in our
country?
If you do it in Europe,
it might be clear. We should understand. But in Africa, especially in
the
black people continent or area, when it came in,
that was nonsense.
It doesn't make sense. I can say that.
That is not nonsensical.
Because, of course, bro. There's the thing which is happening, like even though in our enterprises in our countries today, you might see a job opportunity given to people instead of giving the opportunity to the local youth to participate in that. You see that they more privilege some people from maybe foreign people that came in the country, depending on their experiences, experiences, and then they forget about the local youth. Then I can rapidly run away to the discrimination through that way.
Of course,
discriminating the local people.
The local people instead of giving them the opportunity to postulate, because it's not only the experiences, but the person might have the ability or a pattern in him that can develop in order to help their enterprise. But when you put that person aside away, you not give the opportunity to the person to participate. I don't know how the person could bring out.
Actually, That's also one of the consequences of discrimination.
Yeah.
Racial
discrimination.
People become jobless.
Because we can make a little difference between race and ethnicity. Racial discrimination is more related to your skin, your color, the physical aspect.
Exactly.
But the ethnicity is related to the culture, your origin. And we also have the nationality. So nationality is the third aspect, because we may be from the same country, we can be of the same country, but we don't have the same ethnic. For example, in Togo, I think we have more than 20 right?
37 ethnics
so
in the country.
There are, all of us, we are Togolese. I'm not in the right. Togolese.
Of course.
There are those from
the north, Akboso, Akebu, Kabi, and all those people, and all those people. So, of course.
Somehow, talking about the discrimination, it may happen that in a certain condition, certain situation, they just say that we don't want Ewe people.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, unfortunately, that makes like a. It's like
kind of division among people in the same area.
In the same area.
Yeah, or in the same country.
About nationality. I remind the Togolese constitution, Article 32, says that if you want to have a nationality, Togolese nationality, either your father or your mother, one of your parents, should come from Togo.
Before
having
you could get the benefit of getting Togo nationality.
Togolese nationality. This is the Article 32.
And when we talk about racial discrimination, do you know that sometimes it's linked to police violence?
Exactly.
Let's talk about
police violence.
That's actually something very interesting. And police violence can only be defined like an extreme form of violence, of misconduct from the police officers. And it may happen with the asphyxiation, with beating, shootings. Those are all the things that are related to police violence. And I just want to ask you, I don't know, have you ever faced police violence?
I've never faced that, but I've seen it. I've seen it, like it happens.
You've witnessed this.
I can say it happens at university when people were asking for their rights
they are claiming for
their allowances. It's happened that you might see the policemen running away with vehicle like petrol around those people, beating them and even catch some of them. And after all, you see the way those people are treated is not fair. I can say that.
They are citizens of the country.
Exactly. And even I can rapidly run away to the democracy when the right is given to everybody to express his right or her right. But when you see, sometimes it happens that when the person is asking for his right, then at that same moment the person might be beating or shooting because he's asking or claiming
democracy. Majority of democratic countries, democratic country supposed to do what? Supposed to have that freedom of speech.
Exactly.
But instead of having that freedom of speech, we all can notice that the freedom of speech is not on
it's
point.
Banned now.
It's not banned, but it's not on point. Indeed, we have freedom of speech. But it's not at that level.
It's said, but it's not applied.
Not enforced. So unfortunately, that's a situation, and we've seen it, especially during the COVID-19.
Exactly.
The police violence,
the pandemic.
It occurs many times at the U.S. And as I said, related to racial discrimination, where you see people instead of, because actually the question that we should ask ourselves is, what is the police role?
Exactly.
What is a police officer role? His role is to guarantee security for the citizen.
Exactly.
Not to be there and applying the law or demanding
oppress or
anything else, beating population.
Even when you talk,
that's what occurs.
It's like I'm disagreeing with what you are saying, because sometimes police are legally permitted to use forces. This is why, majority of people don't understand.
Okay,
because
of
when
course.
it comes to forces, police are legally. This is when we talk about something being legally, it is written in the law, right?
All right.
So police are legally permitted to use force.
I'm not against with you. I'm not against you, but when you listen carefully to what he said right now, like the police is supposed normally to care and guarantee the security of those people in the society. And then during the pandemic or the COVID-19, you could say, yes, of course, the law has given that at 6 o'clock, all people should enter Rome.
Of course.
Then maybe someone might be in the need of buying a medicine at pharmacy, and that person come out. Instead of asking the person to know the reason why you came out by this time, they did not even ask and start beating the person. I don't know.
In that instances whereby that particular person could buy the thing 1 hour or even 2 hours.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. You're right about that situation. Come on.
Wait.
Yeah.
So that means that you've never been in an emergent case.
Exactly.
Emergent case.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me.
So when it comes to an emergent case,
Yeah.
you don't take provision.
Like, yes, we don't have a particular time defined.
How to find something, not only medicine. If you want, at some point it was allowed it for, but the problem is when they come into action, they should not be coming into action. When something happened, when you want to go out and you buy something, or you are actually making an infraction. Let's talk about the case of the example I gave at the beginning of Tiny Coast. It was going home. Certainly, as I said, there was a traffic violation, but was the police allowed it to reach a point where they would kill him?
Exactly.
Beat someone. Actually, the police should not be beating. That's justice. They are making justice. They are standing for justice.
As I was saying right now, like it had something also happened in Chicago where someone was catched and started beating on the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, we are facing our topic today, which is concern racial and discrimination and police violence. We are not catching your appetite, but we're running away for a quick break. When we're back, you will hear from us. We are right back again on our topic. A situation happened in Chicago when a little man was beaten by policemen on the road going home, and then at a certain time the police were around him with 3 vehicles, arrested him, saying that by this time of the night he should be a thief or a criminal, and started beating him instead of asking to know the reason why the person was at night that time.
Yeah, what push police, usually commit that kind of thing is what? First, we have poor police training.
Yeah.
Because if police are being trained, like the amount of the thing that they are training is not on point, that also causes that poor police training. And also, we have lack of repercussions. And also, no police in place to condemn or prohibit police violence by the criminal justice. So, what do I mean by that? So we don't have any policy saying that, okay, if police commit these acts, they are going to be sued to court or they are going to be prosecuted. So this is where the need comes in, right? So, and also, police find themselves sometimes like they are above the law. So they do everything that they want. Like, for example, violating human rights. And then also, we have the economical aspects of this, for example. For example, the police...
You were talking about, you are tackling solutions, or you...
This is what push police...
What push police
to commit violation.
You are supporting the violation.
That's what I'm saying now.
Like, there are some... Because due to the... Let's say the determinism when it comes to the philosophical aspect of the thing.
My brother.
So let's go a little bit to the picture. Those pictures that I have on screen right now, they say the police brutality must go. That's a way. This is a brutality of beating people or even shooting.
I'm not supporting them.
Okay,
showing you why they are doing like they are, why they are acting like that.
Of course, they should act as they're doing. But when you face someone, don't say that you're giving the right to the policeman.
No, I'm not giving them the right.
Yeah, when you're saying that normally the law said
they should. Right.
Yeah. Why are you saying that?
Legally, it is written.
It's written. It's written, right?
It is written.
Okay,
right. So
with principles.
In the situation whereby the policeman arrests someone, and the person is not understanding what the police, whatever the policeman is talking about. For example, the person is doing something wrong, and the police cut the person. Instead of the person following kindly the policeman.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you this. Sometimes, let me tell you this. Sometimes it's happening even when policeman come. He wouldn't be humble when talking to the person. You just come and embarrass the person with a kind of I don't know, a kind of force.
What causes
the act that you bring face to the person must react also illegally to you. Yeah,
and this is what caused this. This is anger, and the policeman also will feel with adrenaline.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you are a policeman. You are a policeman. You are a policeman. You have to control yourself when you are talking to
this is what I talk about poor police training. Yeah.
So that means that they are not professional.
Not saying that. Even professional policemen are doing this.
We are police.
It's not in our society only, but all over the world. When you go everywhere, you see police violence.
And police violence usually happen in the country where we have authoritarian regime.
Now, what do you want to mean by that?
Like authoritarian regime, for example, a regime whereby the law is concentrated in the only one person's hand. This is where usually, because I'm not saying I mean, like we are in a democratic country, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's happening here, but usually most of the time it's in the, for example, UK. This police violence happening most of the time in UK.
You sure that happening in our society here?
Cause, for example, people being deprived for their right to life, because if police are acting in that way, people can die in that instances whereby police are doing these acts, are committing these acts. For example, people can die because beating people is not what the policeman should actually do. Right?
Exactly, you're right. Then let's go back a little bit where the traffic people rolling with motorbike on the road, and at a certain moment or face the traffic light, they have to stop, right? Maybe the person doesn't wear his or her helmets, or you see a policeman come closer to the vehicle asking for the driving license.
Driving license.
Yeah, driving license. Maybe the person doesn't have it with him, but it's not an opportunity also to the policeman chase. How do you call it? Draw out the key from the motorbike or the car, and after that, it will be expecting the person maybe to shift something to him before.
Unfortunately, that's what happened most of the time
in our societies.
Because when you talk about also the causes of all that is the fact that some policemen, it feels like the salary is not enough.
This is what I wanted to talk about, the economical aspect of this.
And it makes that in some situation they are always looking for bribe. There's, when you have a family to feed, and then you come out of your house.
Is insufficient. What are you getting per month is insufficient.
And then when you come, your wife is just making noise. What's going on?
Yeah, of course.
And when you go, you got work, and you have a possibility to find money. Of course, it's not what should be done, but in somehow we may understand it.
Yeah.
But the problem also is on the two part. One side for the population, on the other side for the police. But also we have to understand that in somehow the problem can come from the superior. Because most of the time,
classes.
Most of the time the reaction of the police is a order that they receive maybe from the superior, right?
Of course.
And it makes that in somehow they are no longer considering the professional mission, but they are making it the self business, the personal business. And it makes that in somehow instead of treating, reacting as a police officer, is taking it like, for example, when
because after all, we are all human beings.
All human beings,
yeah,
actually.
of course, and somehow you may lose control.
Yeah.
Because some citizens also, they are too arrogant. And
Yeah, of course,
instead
of course.
being polite to the police officers,
exactly.
you want to shows that
Yeah.
I'm something, and it doesn't. It can make it can. It can
Yeah.
be
But
something bad.
anyway, what happened in that way, the policemen also have to be a little bit, control yourself, your temperature. When
that may lead-
of course, like the citizens, they just consider themselves like their role is to protect us, of course, right? So for them, when they see a policeman, if something happened, he or she can react
to education.
Because education is actually
very, very paramount when it comes to all those things. Because if you're not educated, you cannot differentiate good from the bad.
Exactly.
Because
how to respect people. Give respect.
Education is very, very paramount.
Education. Let's move to the solutions.
Yeah, education is
Both
very, very
to racial
paramount.
and police violence.
Yeah.
Education, I think, is very interesting, as you're saying,
To
on both sides.
both
for
sides.
the population and also for the police officers.
Not to
Because
say for the police violence and
population, they should know
racial
what is the
discrimination.
part to play. And when you are, for example, making a violation, a certain violation, it may happen in some situation. We've seen it with COVID-19. People just want to go out during the evening.
Yeah,
and
they
they know
lock
that
down.
it's forbidden.
Yeah.
And then somehow they just want to correct the police officers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And what I like most of the time is just talking about the discrimination. For example, when you are in Village du Benin, one day I was going home. One day I was going home, and while I was going home, it was too late actually, and I had to show my identity card to the police officer that was coming forward to me, and he told me, "What are you doing here at such a time like this?" Because it was late, and I tried to explain myself.
Exactly.
I tried to explain myself, and he understood the situation, and that what I feel is interesting because they
understand
is
you.
not caring about where is
Wherever
it from.
you are.
Because when he saw my ID, I was not from Congo, and then he was not making discrimination, but he treated me as he should.
Exactly.
Actually, and then he asked for questions. He was well educated, and I was well educated too, to answer questions.
Yeah, this is the useful.
Yes,
of
this is the
education.
it's all those
about
means
diversity because dealing with racism, racial discrimination, we talk about diversity because diversity is something that if we are applying diversity, we should be more focused because diversity is a group of people living together. But diversity doesn't forcefully have the because talking about diversity, diversity doesn't guarantee inclusion, but inclusion guarantees diversity.
Yes.
Because inclusion is in the instances whereby people living together. There is a law, universal law, that I mean by inclusion, saying that if you are living together, whatever the case, like if you are black,
white, or whatever
this ethnic group, you come from this racial group, you have to do the same thing.
Exactly.
You have to do the same thing.
There's not discrimination when it comes to
inclusion. There's no discrimination when it comes to inclusion, but there's discrimination when it comes to diversity.
Exactly.
So we must, focus ourselves on inclusion.
That's great. So we're just going to be related on this, saying that we are human and we should abound all those things like we're talking about police violation and all. We should treat ourselves like feeling together. We're not animals to treat one to another like animal, but we have to be all know that we are human.
Yes, I think that's very interesting. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Okay, so I'm going to lay on your point. We have to include everybody. We have to consider inclusion and not diversity.
Of course.
Diversity that's okay, but in diversity there may be some exclusion. But when it comes to inclusion, everybody is taken into account. There's not discrimination. There's not racial, ethnic, anyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time, but we have to hand up this show. This was a very interesting topic. dealing on ethnic and racial discrimination and police violence. So, as I said, what we have to know is that when this is a matter that has to deal with security, and when security is the way, development is absent. So this is on this word I'm going to hand up the show. Catch us live every Fridays at 12:15 and 7:15, with a repeat every Sunday at 7:15. Till we meet again. Or you may also follow us through YouTube via the Daily Train playlist on New World TV channel, or Facebook, the Daily Train TDT. Till we meet again, stay blessed.